So I want to show some issues that come up when trying to use check2.R. So one common issue is that you don't actually know where it is that you're downloading the file. So what I would do here is on the web page, when I'm trying to download, for example, submission2.R. So on the Mac, I do control click. On Windows, I would just do right click. And here, this kind of dialog would come up and I would say save link as. So now I have this dialog box and now I know where I'll be saving it. So I have a folder on my desktop that I'm going to be using. So it's called SML201, like so. And here I'll save it to precepts P2. And in here I'll call this p2.r, so what you are actually supposed to call your file. So that's going to be like this here. And now that I have it, I can load it. So actually here it's in autograde try. So when I'm doing check2, I'll change this to from autograde try to something else. So I'll change this to precepts /p2. Now it's important to not actually have the name of the file here. It's supposed to be just the folder to which I saved the file. So okay, so I ran it, it worked. So that means that this is a valid folder. And here, so submission2 is the file that I supplied. So I would change it to p2. Okay, like this. So now if I run this, it says here basic checks were passed successfully. So it's important to run using source and not by highlighting, because if you highlight, then even if there is an error, it'll keep running, unlike when you're doing source. So here you see that it says that basic checks were passed successfully. Now, one possible issue that comes up is people forget to change submission2.r to p2.r. That's a problem because then you're just checking whether my submission2 passes the checks, which it does, and not whether p2.r passed the checks. So another issue might be like this. So let me actually open p2.r. So here it is, and it's the same as submission2. But here's the thing. So if I just delete everything from here like that and I save it, then I say, okay, I'll run it. It says basic checks were passed successfully. So the reason for that is that all the functions that were in submission2.r were already defined, and if, in fact, all the functions that were in p2.r were also already defined. So that's what check2.r is running. So one thing I could do is I could clear my workspace. So I would say clear here and say yes. And now if I try to run things, it'll say, well, assignment is not defined. The reason assignment is not defined is because here it says nothing. So in particular, it does not say assignment is, I think it should be precept 2. So now I fixed that, so I can try to run it again. And now I have the next problem. So student.netid.1 is not defined. So if I define that, so that I'll call ID2. Please don't do that. Please actually put your ID, obviously, ID1. And here I'll do ID2. And now that's going to be fine. But now I need to define num2gp and so on. Okay, so make sure that this is your p2.r. This is the location of your p2.r. And also make sure that there's no errors when you're running the thing. Okay, so an error would generally look like this. Okay, good luck.